and I'm really like a girls alliance, and you don't have all the girls in this alliance.
At the beginning of the season, the women formed the Girls Alliance. It included all of the women except Taylor and you. They assumed,
What? Sorry.
yes,
Wait.
they assumed you two would be more loyal to men. How do you feel about that assumption?
Oh my God, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Well, this is the first time I am hearing about some girls alliance, and I'm gonna say that I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because when I have been around groups of women, I have never felt fully comfortable. I have never been fully accepted. And being a lesbian older woman in the house, I know that I put off a lot of masculine energy, and because I'm an athlete, or because I talk about sports, and because of the subject matter that comes along with me, that, women tend to think that I'm not a girl's girl. What does that even mean? I don't even know how that's even a thing. I think it's hilarious, and I'm really like a girls alliance, and you don't have all the girls in this alliance.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to avoid the same mistake in the past of some woman ratting out the Girls Alliance. And I think they just used certain lines of thinking of trying to suss out who that can be. But going on that, Paloma is a huge part of this. So in that same week,
This is great. Please fill me in.
So in that same week, Paloma was offended by Taylor for two things. One,
Okay.
Taylor said, not the pineapple, after Paloma dropped pineapple. Two, Taylor asked why she was making a face and mimicked the face to Paloma. Instead of Paloma talking about how these things offended her, she made a personal and game campaign against Taylor and effectively painted her as a bully. Taylor was then ostracized by the house. You seemed at first during the first week not wanting to be a part of this, but then you joined in. Was this a game move or a personal move?
As far as joined in, I, again, I want to be able to go back and really look at those things and see exactly where that happened. Because I feel like I've addressed some things with Taylor, and I would like to continue addressing ththose things with her going forward once she comes out of the Big Brother house. Hopefully not sooner than later. So I believe your question was how.
Was it a game move or a personal move for you?
Well, it definitely was a game move going forward, because when I'm being told majority of the house wants her out, I was thinking strategically, okay, well, I don't want to be on the wrong side of the coin, and let's try and get her out of this house. And so going forward, that was one of my goals, was to get Taylor out or to keep her as a shield. But it was my demise, and that's why I'm here talking to you and not still inside the house.
The personal and game often do get mixed. For the blow up in the house, you left the diary room, you talked to Daniel privately, you talked about Taylor being a bad person, and you're willing to throw the veto to go on the block to get her out. Meanwhile, the house thought you had bad personal news about your mother. Taylor asked Monty to pray for your mom. Then she comes to talk to you, and Daniel comes to talk to you and basically says to keep your mental health first. Don't worry about her when it comes to game. You took this offensively and said that you weren't a quitter, not in your vocabulary, but you were planning to throw that veto. So can you explain why you took that comment offensively?
Well, to be honest with you, I want to be able to look back on that moment, because I do feel that I overreacted in a way that I had, my emotions were high. There was a lot of feeling and emotion going on in that moment, because I had been in the diary room and I thought that I was receiving bad news about my mom. Then I was being asked questions about Taylor. being in the Big Brother house, I feel like everything just started, you know, kind of like flooding through me, and it all just came to a head, and I wasn't able to fully address everything in the diary room before I walked out. And so things escalated to a point that I definitely wasn't expecting to happen. But what I can say is that I know that I need to address that with Taylor when she comes out of the house, because I think that that's something that we can watch together. It's something that I'm definitely going to watch on my own. And I definitely don't want her to be slated in any way whatsoever.
One of your last efforts to stay in the house was basically talking about how Monty's an alpha, Jasmine's husband, I guess, is an alpha, and then you said Taylor was in the sister sorority, but that's incorrect. She's not.
Okay. Okay.
But why was it, why did it come to your mind to basically paint most of the Black people as like tied together and put a target on their back before you left?
Oh, I definitely wasn't tying that that it was because they were Black people. I was tying together the fact that sorority and fraternity, brotherhood and sisterhood is very strong. And the conversation was actually started with Terrence when I was putting this all together. And the conversation between him and we basically were like, I basically was like, holy crap, like, this is real. Like, this bond is real. It is unbreakable. And if they make it through, like, good for them. But going forward, the reason why I brought it up was because strategy for Michael, I told him, I said, it's an unbreakable bond. And if you want to go far in this game, and I think that you and Jasmine can make it to the end, you're going to have to figure out a way to get rid of Monty.
But where did the lie that Taylor was in this Black sorority come from?
I thought that I heard her say that she was in the sorority, so I'm incorrect.
Okay. Do you have any regrets or something you would have done differently in the game?
I wouldn't have played somebody else's game. I felt like I was definitely using other people's feelings towards Taylor to kind of guide me through. And I strategically thought that I'd be able to use her as a shield. And essentially, I thought I could manipulate her and control her, and I couldn't. And that is why I am here, and she is in there.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.